Hello everyone, I'm the Saxy Gamer. Today we're here for yet another Civilization 6 Wonder Spotlight, where today we'll be taking a look at the pyramids. Sorry I haven't uploaded in a while, it's just been a really hectic week for school, but hopefully I will have a little bit of time in the next few weeks to be able to get more videos out, and I'll try my best, but if not, then, well, we'll just have to deal with a inconsistent upload schedule. But let's go ahead and get into things with the pyramids. So the pyramids are unlocked with the Masonry technology. This does make them an ancient era wonder. Masonry is very easy to rush as well. All you have to do is go through mining first, and then to boost Masonry, all you have to do is construct a quarry over a resource. So that would be something like stone or marble, I believe, also takes a quarry. So does gypsum, I believe. Is that the name of the resource? I can't even remember the name of the resource, but building a quarry is fairly easy, and a lot of the times you'll be able to get that in a game. So Masonry is something that you can rush. Additionally, the fact that this is an ancient era wonder doesn't really mean too much. It just means that you're able to boost it with the policy card that gives you additional production towards ancient and classical era wonders. Once you research Masonry, the building requirements for the pyramids are as follows. So it must be built on a desert tile, and it must be built on flat land. Do note that you actually can build the pyramids on floodplains. Unlike a lot of other wonders, pretty much all wonders and districts you cannot build on floodplains, but the pyramids are one of the few that you are able to put on floodplains. But you must have flatland desert, which normally would be a dead tile anyways, so I find it is normally fairly easy to place the pyramids, because a lot of the times you will have desert at least somewhere around in your empire. Sometimes you don't get it early enough if your capital is not near the desert, so it might be very hard to build the pyramids, especially if you have a newly founded city that is maybe size 1 and it's in the middle of the desert. Then it can be a little bit difficult just because you're not going to be getting a lot of production. But I do in general find that since flatland desert tiles are pretty much worthless tiles anyways, that the pyramids is a wonder that fits nicely and makes it so that you are able to actually make use of that tile and not just leave it as a dead tile. The pyramids also do have a production cost of 220, which is higher than wonders such as Stonehenge and Temple of Artemis, but I believe that this is tied with the Oracle as well, so you can expect the usual, like 20 or so turns to construct the pyramids in your capital. Once you construct the pyramids, its bonuses are as follows. So it will provide +2 culture, will grant you 1 free builder, and all of your builders for the rest of the game will have +1 additional build charge. So the bonuses for the pyramids, I think, are quite strong. So the +2 culture is really not that impactful. It can kind of help out a little bit early on, but +2 culture in the grand scheme of things just is not very much. 1 free builder, though, early on is very nice. It allows you to get down some more tile improvements. Maybe you can use that to chop for production to rush another wonder, or you can maybe, chop for production to get some military units out, or you could build some tile improvements. Maybe you want to build some farms to get some Eurekas for some techs, and also to have your cities grow. Maybe you can go build some mines once again to get some Eurekas and have your cities have better production. So I think that the 1 free builder is very nice. It kind of rewards you for putting the production into the pyramids and kind of refunds you some of that production. So I think that part is very strong. It kind of just gives you a little bit of a boost early on. Also, if you want to go and found a city right after constructing the pyramids, then you immediately have a builder that you can send to give that city a little bit of, like a boost early on and help it gain its footing very quickly. Additionally, all builders gaining +1 charge throughout the entire game I think is very strong, because that will stack up quite nicely with how many tile improvements you're gonna be able to build. I know people are gonna be very upset at me for saying that, because they were arguing with me in the China Leader Spotlight video that I was saying that wasn't that great as a civilization ability, and maybe as a civilization ability it isn't, but having it on the pyramids, that you have the choice of getting it, you're not locked into getting it, and you can kind of just utilize it as needed, is something that is very strong. So if you think that you're going to need a bunch of extra build charges in a game, maybe you're going to go particularly tall, or you plan on going wide, and then in the late game, just all of a sudden putting down a bunch of tile improvements and needing a lot of builders to do that, I think that the pyramids can be very helpful, and overall I think that they have some very good bonuses to them. And now it is that time to rate the pyramids, so our ratings all go from 1 to 5, with 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. I also give a rating for difficulty and consistency. Difficulty just kind of judges the general difficulty of constructing the wonder, and kind of gauges how likely the AI are to build it before you, so that assumes deity difficulty as well, just because that's kind of what these guys are geared towards. And the consistency rating just kind of gauges how consistent the bonuses are and how applicable they are to games. So if a wonder wonder is only situationally useful, then obviously it would have a low consistency, but if its bonuses are always useful, then it would have a high consistency rating. So let's go ahead and rate the pyramids. So for their overall rating, I think that the pyramids deserve a 4. I think that the pyramids are a very strong wonder. They're definitely not in like the top tier, and they're not necessary for every game, but if you are able to get the pyramids, I would highly advise it. So as for the use cases for the pyramid, one of the ones is to get early tile improvements. So with the pyramids, for one, you do get that free builder, which is kind of like a nice refund for putting in the production cost to build the pyramids. So you get that that refund in the builder, which then you can use to go ahead and put down some tile improvements. Additionally, that builder is going to have one extra charge as well, so you can use that to construct a few more. I guess you can use that to construct one more tile improvement, but all builders that you construct after that will be able to construct one more tile improvement as well, so that will stack up. This just kind of makes it a lot easier early on whenever your production is limited and it takes quite a few turns to construct builders. It kind of gives you a little bit more bang for your buck with the builders and allows you to get down more tile improvements, to give you more yields, to give you more population, to give you more production, and it just kind of snowballs. So I think that's something that's very good with the pyramids, just the ability to use them to build up your land throughout the game. Just because once you start getting tile improvements, that'll increase your yields, which then makes it easier to get more builders, which then makes it easy to get more tile improvements, which then makes it easier to get even more yields, and thus then you can turn those into districts or military units or whatever you so fancy, and that just kind of helps to snowball you throughout just getting a ton of yields and pushing you towards a victory condition. So the major use case for the pyramids, I would say, is if either A, you are going for a very early, like, tall playthrough, and in which you're going to want to build up your empire very quickly. I think that the pyramids are very good for that. Or the other option is even if you're going to go wide and then transition into tall in the later game. So maybe you're going to settle a lot of cities, kind of have them dormant for a good while, and then as you get later in the game, you want to all of a sudden build them all up at once whenever you have the resources to be able to. I think that the pyramids can be very good for that, and it can just help make it a little bit easier. As far as the difficulty rating for the pyramids is concerned, I think that they deserve a 3. They are not as difficult as some of the early game wonders like Stonehenge and, I cannot even just remember the name, I'm blanking totally right now. But, like Stonehenge, it's nowhere near as difficult as Stonehenge or the Hanging Gardens, that's the one. And generally, the AI is not always going to have desert in their capital or in one of their early cities, so they're not always going to be able to build it, so that does make it so that they are a little bit less likely to build it. So for that reason, I think it deserves a 3. It is still moderately competitive, but it is not always taken like some of the other early game wonders. And for its consistency rating, I think that it deserves a 4 because in a lot of cases, its bonuses are very good. For one, the culture is always going to be consistent and nice, but also in a lot of games, you can always use, more builders and more tile improvements, because in the end, that just transitions into more yields. So getting more yields pretty consistently, or just in most of your games, makes the pyramids pretty consistent. The only time I would say that the pyramids is inconsistent is if you're playing extremely wide and you really don't want to build up your cities at all, just because you don't want to get them to grow too big. Then I think that the pyramids the bonuses of the pyramids wouldn't be that great, so that's the only inconsistency of the pyramids, but for the most part, the pyramids are pretty good with their bonuses, and thus I think that they deserve the 4 for their consistency rating. So thank you everyone for watching. I've been the Saxy Gamer. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you're looking for more Civilization 6 content, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.